Firstly, everything I'm showing you today is in the versions that I used last week. So version 410, 230720, there's no update from last week's. If you're already on this one, you've got everything I'm going to show today. If you're not on this one, you'll need to update to it. In fact, a couple of things I'm showing were in earlier versions. In fact, a couple of things are even in 4.9, the last version of 4.9, but it's worth going over them as well. That's the version that I'm using today, and it's available now. All right, the first topic I'm going to talk about, there's a couple of new at codes, no big deal there. That's the syntax for them, at folder subjects count, at folder home subjects count, and they do exactly as you would imagine. They count the number of subjects in a folder. Let me show you how that works. I will go to Neopack. Got this handsome young lad here. I'm just going to modify this particular template and put those couple of at codes on it, and we'll see what happens. So what will I do? I'll put a fill. So we've got something to write on, and then I'll grab the text box and we'll subjects count. So at folder subjects count, and the other one is the home folder subjects count, at folder home subjects count. I'll just make that a bit prettier. At folder subjects count, at folder home subjects count. Let's save this template, go back to our subject and have a look. Okay, it's giving us 10 and 10. So there are 10 subjects in his folder, and 10 of those 10 subjects, all of them, obviously, it's their home folder. Let's have a look at his folder just to verify that that's calculated it correctly. The guy is Baylor Harris. I'm not sure what's his first name and last name there, but we'll find him. Baylor, huh? There he is there, and he's in Hermione's folder. And there are indeed 10 subjects. So let's test that second at code, the one that counts only the home subjects, the home folder subjects. All these subjects, this is their home folder. I might grab a few staff and copy them in. So control drag and drop them into the folder. Now we've got 16 subjects in total, of which 10, this is their home folder. The rest have been copied in. So those numbers should change. And they do. So the subjects counted are 16. So there's 16 total subjects in that folder, and 10 of those subjects, this is their home folder, the same folder that this guy is in. Simple as that, a couple of new at codes. All right, I'll go back to my slides. So I see what's next. QR codes, traditionally, the way we do them, you enter all your data on one line. Typically, you're using QR codes for matching purposes, so you'll have something like /%s at ID or /%k at key. Let's stick with /%s at ID. You're only ever using one line. Sometimes you'll use a QR code to put your iOS link with their key in it, so that when they scan that, it'll go straight to your iOS site and enter their key for them. The need has come up, and will probably come up more often, for QR codes to be used, for example, on ID cards or library cards, those sort of things, with QR readers, with certain readers, and they need data on multiple lines, like a virtual card, a V card. A virtual card needs data on multiple lines. And as you know, we only have one line in the tool to draw and encode your QR code. So what we've done, we've just introduced these escape codes, this escape code, curly brackets, open curly brackets, NL for new line, close curly brackets. Put that in your QR code encoding, and it's a line break. It's a new line. So in our example there, at first name, line break, at last name, new line, at ID, new line, we should end up with the data on, that'll encode the QR in a way that QR readers, which can read multiple lines, will give you that information on multiple lines. Let's have a look at that, although we won't, of course, be able to see much. We'll go back to the same guy and go back to the template. And I might get rid of that and put the QR code on here. So it's quite simply, you've still only got one line in here, but now you can put in that escape sequence, NL in curly brackets, at last name, NL curly brackets, and then at ID. Have I done that right? At first name, escape, at last name, escape sequence, at ID. Save that. Let's go have a look at it. Obviously, you'll need a QR reader. I pointed my phone's QR reader, not the camera. My camera isn't capable of, in itself, of interpreting line feeds, but I've actually got a QR app on my phone. When I point that to my screen, I see those 3 lines of data on 3 lines, on 3 separate lines, those 3 fields on 3 separate lines. So that's the way you would encode data over multiple lines if it's needed for a virtual card, for example, and there's probably going to be other uses of that. So pretty simple. There's the syntax. It's just curly brackets, NL, close to curly brackets. And you enter it all in one line in the drawing object for QR codes. Alrighty, moving right along. We have got, okay, something new. Every time an entity is made, I've used subjects because that's the most common, but it implies equally for folders and families. Every time a subject is created, we are now recording the timestamp of when it was created, that subject was created, and who it was created by. And by who I mean the computer that it was created on, so the computer's name and whoever's logged into the computer at that time. So the date and the user who created the subject. Let's have a look at that. I'll go back to Neopack and we'll stay in this job, details mode. You can see there's a couple of new italicized columns, which by italicized, that means sort of we've put them there. They're not fields that you have defined. And there's a created at and a created by. They're blank. These subjects were already there when we did this update. But if I create a new subject, you see as soon as the subject was created, they get a subject key, but those 2 columns, created at and created by, were populated. So today's date, and the date will be in the format of your computer. So my computer is day, month, year, and the current Windows user, which is me, and my computer name, Homer. So that's quite simply, again, quite simple to get. As soon as an entity is created, be it a subject, a folder, or a family, you're going to get these 2 bits of information. This applies equally to SQL jobs or TNJs. TNJ will also create this, and notably that therefore means it happens with capture post as well. When you add a new subject in capture post, it could be quite useful to know exactly when or the date and on what computer it was done, or on what computer that subject was added, because you're going to end up merging those jobs. So by having, perhaps if you've got capture post, multiple capture posts at a shoot, you will merge them. They're going to end up in one job. This created by will tell you the computer, the user, where the subject was created. So it does work in Capture Post, which I think is going to be the most common use, but it will work in any T&Js, and obviously it will work in any SQL jobs as soon as you create the subject. And it doesn't matter how you create them. I created this subject manually. I could have imported a text file. I could have merged a T&J. Whenever a subject is created, you'll get this bit of information. Now, for some people, this is just a waste of space. They don't want that polluting their details mode. They're not going to use it, so they would rather not see it at all. You can, of course, come into Edit Columns and change the order. By default, you'll see them at the end of your fields. I have moved them further, closer to the first name and last name, but you can move them away or turn them off completely if you don't want to see them. And of course, that goes for your other fields as well. If you're not familiar with Edit Columns, you can reorder them here and hide them as well. So by doing that, I've hidden them. You're probably going to ask me, is there an @ code for them to get them on templates? Yes, it's also @created by @created @ one word. Let's keep forging ahead. Okay, there's a little bit of difference with the way we handle dates with your online orders. Now, just a bit of background. When the orders are placed online in the online database up on the servers, the order date time is always recorded in UTC, which was the old Greenwich Mean Time from the Greenwich Observatory in London. That's quite standard. We do that, Amazon will do that. Anybody taking orders online will record the order, will record timestamps in UTC because that's standard. That's the only way you can compare dates across multiple time zones. You'll get consistent results no matter whether somebody is ordering New York, Los Angeles, Perth, or Auckland. That's fine, but that's not what you want to see necessarily, and that's not what your customers want, because there can be quite a difference between UTC time and where you are and where your customer is ordering from. An extreme example, the most extreme I probably know, is New Zealand, because they are 12 hours ahead of UTC. So if we displayed the order only in UTC time, you could see that could be a problem. The time itself is not so much of a problem, but you can get wrong, what appear to be wrong dates. If I use Auckland as an example again, being 12 hours ahead, if somebody places an order, even say at 10 a.m. on Friday morning, that is actually 10 p.m. Thursday in London, UTC time. So the order, if we display the UTC time, would say Thursday, not Friday. And if your customer rings you up and you're looking for an order somewhere, and they say, well, I placed the order Friday, and you go looking through all your Friday orders, well, that order, according to the database, was placed Thursday, not Friday, because the database is in UTC time. Okay, so how do we get around that? How have we gotten around it for the moment until this version? We, on your site, when we set up your iOS sites, we put in your time zone. So we enter your company's time zone. Not where the server is, but where you are. So we will enter Los Angeles, New York, Auckland, Sydney, Perth. And then there are various places where the order information is displayed. You see the order date time in your site time, not the UTC time. We use a little external service that does the conversion and displays the order in the site time, which is obviously far better. Where do you see that? Well, for a start, your customer's email, the date time in there is site time, not UTC, thankfully. In the control panel, site time, not UTC. In any of the reports, if we go to our knowledge base, all these reports that you can get directly from your browser, directly from online, without you even having to download the orders for, in here, you will see site time. We may also have column with the UTC time, I don't remember, but you will certainly see the site time, which is correct. Okay, so there's where you see the order date in site time. Now notice I'm saying site. We have no way of knowing where your customer is. Okay, let's use New Zealand, Auckland again as an example. If someone is in Perth and is ordering for somebody in Auckland, there's a difference there of 5 hours in the summertime. We don't know that the customer was in Perth. We can only show the order in time where your company is, not where your customer is. Most times, of course, the customer is going to be in the same city as you are, so that's not an issue. Where we have had an issue up until now is that the apps, when you download the orders, until these versions, when you downloaded orders, we were downloading the top. We were downloading UTC time, which meant an order in Neopack or Fulfill was displaying potentially the wrong date. Using the New Zealand example again, they would order on Friday the 28th of July at 11 a.m. In Fulfill, the date would have been Thursday the 27th because we had downloaded the UTC time, and Fulfill and Neopack show you the dates and they were the UTC time. So the difference now is that with these versions, with 4.10, the orders are converted to the UTC time is converted to site time as you download them, and therefore they are stored in your TimeStone database in site time. We still record the UTC time. It's still important always to have that, but we also record the site time, and therefore Neopack and Fulfill will display the correct site time date, not the UTC date, which may be different. It depends how far away you are from UTC. New Zealand is an extreme example. Melbourne's not quite as far. Los Angeles, I think, is 7 hours difference back the other way, 7 hours behind. If you're in London, there's only 1 hour difference at the moment in summertime, so there's virtually no difference. And in wintertime, when it's standard, they are on UTC anyway, so I've never had this issue. So the further you are away from London, the bigger of an issue it was, the more likely it was that your order date would be out by 1 when we were only reporting UTC. No longer a problem. We keep going. Okay, coupons. Yeah. The coupon object on checkout, what do I even mean by that? Let's now go to iOS. I'll put in a key. I'll place an order. Yeah, place an order. Checkout. Yep. Okay. What I'm talking about is this area where your customer or you could optionally enter a coupon, a discount coupon, and apply it to the order. We have had requests probably fairly frequently that people want to hide that area. The reason they want to hide it and not have it there at all is because they don't use coupons. They don't use coupons at all. They don't distribute coupons. No one gets a discount. And yet they will get customers, they'll get a mum ringing saying, I haven't got a coupon. Where's my coupon? Can I have a coupon to get my discount? And they have to explain, well, you're not entitled to one. We don't use coupons. So people have asked to get rid of that. Until now, we couldn't really do it. We could fiddle around with the CSS to hide it, but that wasn't ideal. And under some circumstances and on different devices, it was a bit messy. We can now hide it. So we'll leave that one there. And I've set up my 3 different sites with and without those options. So let's place the same order on this other site. Okay, so on this site, I've turned it off completely, turned it off cleanly within the site setup, not doing any fiddling with CSS, and it's just not there. So the coupon section is completely gone. No one's going to know it's there. No one's going to call you asking for a coupon. That's well and good, And note, I did say that this is a site level change. It's not like you can turn it on and off for different jobs. It is a site config thing. So we can turn it off. It will be off all the time. That's well and good. But then we've got people who may want the best of both worlds, because you routinely use coupons. You don't hand out discount coupons. And yet you yourselves may use them for customer service. You yourself might have a 100% coupon that bypasses payment, so that you can place orders and are able to jump over the payment process completely. You enter your 100% discount coupon and are able to place that order. Or there may be times, yes, you don't routinely handle coupons, but every now and again you've got somebody on the phone and irate customer, and you give them a coupon to placate them, and they can go in and place that, use that coupon. If we turn it off completely, as we've done here, you won't be able to do those things. You'll never be able to enter a coupon ever again until we turn it on again. So there is an alternative. There is something else we can do, and I've done it on this site, the third site. We'll place exactly the same order so we get to the same screen. Check. So what we've done here is leave the coupon section in place. We haven't hidden it, but we've changed all the text around it, all the text associated with it, so it's effectively camouflaged. It's all still there, but nobody apart from you knows that it's there. You can see we changed the heading of that section from the default, which is coupon/voucher, to click the place order button, etc., to confirm your order. We've changed the subtext to your confirmation email will be sent to the email in the your details section above, which is also going to act as a passive way to get them to check that email is okay. And we've changed the bit inside the window where they enter the code to say office use only instead of the default, which was coupon code. And finally, the button, which used to say apply, the button you click to apply the coupon, I've changed that to ACH, meaning apply coupon here. Of course, it can be anything you like. I like this solution. It's the best of both worlds. You can still use coupons if and when you need to, because it's all still there, but your customers don't know that it's all still there. So they won't be calling you asking for a coupon when they don't deserve one. Okay. Now remember, this is not the default behavior. So if you want this, if you want what you're seeing in front of you, you need to let us know, and you need to let us know what you want the text changed to. If it's not what I'm showing here, it can be what I'm showing here, or you can just give us your own text strings and we'll replace the default text to whatever text you want. Okay, we will move on to whatever's next. We can make any package now, you can mark it as non-taxable. By default, if you are charging taxes, all your packages will be calculated in the tax calculation at checkout. But it has arrived that in some districts in America, charging tax on digital products is not allowed. You're not allowed to charge tax, sales tax, or whatever tax it is, on a digital product. So easiest thing for us to do was to come into here and just choose any package. You'll see there's a column taxable, and by default it's always checked. And whatever your digital package is, in my case, I don't even know, so these digital packages, if in my district I'm not allowed to charge tax on them, just uncheck them, just uncheck the tax box, and that will not calculate tax, not for these products. Simple as that. Okay, easy. That one. Okay, before I talk about this one, because it's the last one, there were 2 or 3 things that I wanted to bring up which didn't even merit their own PowerPoint slide, although this is not PowerPoint. So I'll do them first, then come back to package templates, which is the last thing. In Fulfill, very quickly, in the delivery option drop-down, there is now a new entry in there, none. So there are all my delivery options, and I can filter for the different delivery options I've got. There was never an option to choose no option. So it's not the same as that. That means we're not even filtering for anything to do with delivery option. That means we're filtering for orders with that delivery option. This is going to select any orders which don't have a delivery option. No delivery option at all. That may be useful for whatever reason to filter for any orders in fulfill that don't have a delivery option. Simple as that. That's new. And again, I think this may have made the last version of 4.9 as well, but you'll notice we doubled the size of some windows. So file open, for example, that's a lot bigger. There's other windows like this, the file properties, double the size, and file lookup. This is also twice as big because that helps when you are looking up a subject. The old window, the information below was often truncated and you wouldn't have been able to tell the difference between these subjects, for example, if it was truncated. So yeah, a lot of the windows have just been doubled in size. And I do think this is in the last version of 4.9, but it's certainly in 4.10. All right, package templates. Let's go back to here and I'll get rid of these. Get rid of that. Okay, and view cart, remove the cart. Okay, I'm going to a different subject. Okay, behold Stephanie. She has a couple of images. One's in the portrait vertical orientation, the other one's in the horizontal landscape orientation. The first, we've got two package templates, and what I might do is just reduce the magnification of my browser so we can see both templates at the same time. It's essentially the same package template, and we've just got an image object on there. And when we choose the vertical image, that's fine. When we choose the horizontal image, the first package template you see has put the image in horizontally, yes, but of course it's truncated it. There's no concept here of rotating it or displaying it in the other way as to what compared to what you see. The second package template I've cloned, but I've done something with it so that it knows image orientation and presents the correct version depending on the orientation of the image. So look at the bottom one now, vertical and horizontal. You can see it's actually quite a different template because the print your own graphic has moved too. So it's a different template version. Let's have a look at that template. So normally you would have a package template and you can only put in the image object as vertical or horizontal. You can't sort of do both. And if you put in square, it doesn't work. What we've got now, however, we can go to this version, set different version depending on orientation. You've seen this before because it's available on customer versions of package layouts. And it's also available, it's always been available for items. It's exactly the same concept. Click that. Okay, so now this has become active, different orientation versions. There's the vertical version, which I've already made. I click the button next to it. I can make the horizontal version. So I start with a blank canvas. You can, of course, come in here and copy lots of things. Control C, move over to the other version, which is blank canvas, but of the same canvas size. So that's handy. Paste them there and then put your image hole for the horizontal version. You just put that one horizontally. So now you've made two versions. And the system will pick the correct version depending on the orientation of the image. That's the horizontal version, that's the vertical version. So for many of you, that is quite simple because you've done it before with other templates, but you can now do exactly the same thing with package templates, and the system will just automatically use the correct version depending on the image selected. I think that's it. As always, thank you for your attendance. Bye for now, and I'll see you next time.